the regular season finale of Hick's 5-Minute Picks. And boy, do we got ourselves a doozy. The big one of the weekend. Ohio State at Michigan. Wolverines a 4-point favorite. You know what Ohio State is this week? They're America's team. And Ryan Day, he's Captain America. That is right. Ryan Day is the only thing standing between Michigan and the college football playoff. And for all the whining, all the complaining, all the crying from Michigan fans left and right across this beautiful country, how sweet would it be? How fitting would it be that their cheating season comes to an end at the hands of Ryan Day and the Ohio State Buckeyes? Not only is this a dream for most, it's a reality. Ohio State is beating Michigan on Saturday in the Big House. Here is why. For the first time in 3 years, Ohio State is actually built to be tough enough to face Michigan. You go back and look at those wins over Notre Dame, over Penn State. You could call them sloppy. You could call them ugly. You know what I call them? Finally, Ohio State, for the first time in 3 years, showing not only mental, but physical strength. Winning games in different ways, relying on their defense, making plays when stars like Marvin Harrison Jr. and Travion Henderson are injured and out. They have found ways in these games here to win, and that is something Ohio State has not done in the past. That is going to be the difference, because Saturday, it's been a shootout of late in the series. It's not going to be a shootout on Saturday. I think it's going to be more of a defensive struggle. And I think Ohio State is finally built to stop the Michigan run for the first time in 3 years. They are tough. They are hard-nosed. They are ready to grind out victories, which is what is going to be needed to happen in the Big House on Saturday. And for all the flack, and I think rightfully so for the most part this year, you got to give a lot of credit to Kyle McCord, who has not been perfect, but he's been battle-tested. He has passed those tests. He's made plays to beat Notre Dame and beat Penn State and beat Wisconsin, amongst others. And I think Ohio State trusts Kyle McCord way more than Michigan trusts J.J. McCarthy. That is where this game is going to come down to. Buckeyes win 27-21. Michigan season is over. Ohio State going to the Big Ten title game. How about a good one here on Friday night? Oregon State at Oregon. Ducks 14.5-point favorites. They win. They cover. Here is why. They're going to have a lot of success moving the ball. Even though the weather conditions, favor the Beavers at home last week against Washington, Huskies were still able to move the ball up and down the field with their passing game, again, despite the fact the rain was playing favor to Oregon State. Ducks are built to win in many ways. I think they'll do that. This game, though, here's something to watch. This is the start of the Bo Nix Heisman race. Nationally, the guy getting a lot of attention is Jaden Daniels. Don't sleep, though, on Bo Nix. Guy has 22 touchdowns in his last 5 games. On the season, 35 passing touchdowns to 2 picks. Second most efficient quarterback in all of college football. I think he totals 5 touchdowns Friday night. He leads the Ducks to a 35-17 victory over Oregon State. This game, plus the game against Washington, Big 12 title game, or Pac-12 title game, is where Bo Nix wins his Heisman Trophy. An interesting one in the ACC/SEC. Florida State at Florida. Seminoles, 11.5-point favorites. I think the Seminoles win. I think Florida covers. I wish I had the Stones, but I don't right now. I think the Gators have a real chance here to pull off the outright upset. It's the battle of backup quarterbacks. Tate Rodemaker for Florida State, Max Brown for Florida. And I'm concerned about Florida State's ability to stop the run. Gators are going to pound the ball down their throat. They have played down to their competition Florida State has every game this season. No reason to think that changes now. Again, I think they do just enough to win and escape the swamp. It's going to be close. It's going to be ugly. And even if they win, it's not going to be in a fashion that is convincing to the committee as to why they are one of the 4 best teams in college football. Florida State will not make the playoff this year. This game is going to be in part, they beat Florida, but Florida, the Gators cover the 11.5-point spread. Washington State at Washington, 17-point favorites. Huskies are at home. They win. The Cougars cover. Look, impressive defensive performance last week by Washington on the road at Oregon State. But the Washington State offense is really damn good. Cam Ward's a really good quarterback. I think he'll put up some points. But the Huskies, again, do win. I'd say around 2 touchdowns. But they do cover that 17-point spread. Washington wins. Cougars cover. Finally, Iron Bowl, Alabama, 14.5-point favorites at Auburn. Look, there's no rivalry wackiness here in the Iron Bowl. Crimson Tide are going to blow out Auburn. I mean, Auburn just lost to New Mexico State at home, for Christ's sake. Okay? Alabama wins comfortably. They smoke the Tigers.